there'll be plenty of time to edit this, what I call raw organic literature. So we're going to talk some history here and the disgrace, this absolute disgrace of this fucking university. You can't say fuck the fuck I can. So, and my YouTube site, my activism will go on. Well, I'm going to wind this up, well, I hope to, in the next couple weeks, because I can't do it anymore. You know, I'll do my activism. I've always done my activism, but I've dedicated my life. If the doctor cuts me loose, I'm just being impoverished for 8 years is killing me, you know. And so I'll try to finish this up. Will I close this YouTube site? I don't know. I'll probably leave it there just for time and opportunity and move along, because you know I've tried every angle there is. So thank you everybody who supported this historic work, and you know I'll do this right up to March 11th. I'll go to California here soon. You know, we'll track the gray whales, and I'll make sure I get this on, you know, Moby Dick. Maybe that'll be the conclusion of this YouTube site, which I always intended to conclude it. It went on much longer than I thought, and man, it'll be 10 years in March, so perfect, right? So I got to do something different. With my activism, my historic work, Trump is in the, you know, it's not organic anymore as far as YouTube. That's why the view counts, the circling the wagons, and squash me. Let's talk history, and this is the disgrace. Again, Tracy Hall, my 8th grade history teacher at Walquist Junior High. This is the disgrace of this place. Dr. Sessions, who I'm actually related to, history, they're fucking panty painters around here. That's all they are. It's a fucking absolute disgrace to Ogden, Utah. It's a disgrace. You don't think fuck you. Go to the cemetery. The first guy, Whitey, buried there. Oh, his last name's Blanch. All these famous Blanches, May Blanch, Thomas Blanch, Marston Blanch, Dwayne Blanch. I mean, this is our town, you know. Our university. It's not we, it's me. History. This is the disgrace. We'll walk down to the history department. These panty painting fuckers.
Well, what do you think?
There'll be plenty of time to edit this out and get this into a actual book where you can buy it, so someone doesn't have to read it to you. I appreciate everybody's support of this historic work, but you know, it's been impossible what I've done. I mean, I've risked my life way too much. The work that I've done is the work of thousands of professors. So history. Here's really where I knew that we were fucked. I'm out at the ENOLA Gay hangar. I know Jim. We met in a casino, betting basketball. Probably a Lillard game. Way before Lillard. Way before that, when we were with upset teams, when they had the great Bagelin, those 95 teams. He grew up next to 3 Mile Island. He rolled into town and looked at the ENOLA Gay hangar and just disarray, just like a bomb on it. He said, what the? He worked so hard, and I've always assisted him. I'm turning it into a museum. You know, we've done so much beautiful work out there. My videos those are the best videos I've ever done. Probably the one with Patrick and I. It's probably the best piece of art in America in the last several years. So they finally do a ceremony out there. I'm uninvited, but Jim says, no, you come, Kevin. International media from all over the world. Folding paper cranes, 1,000 folding paper cranes. Her niece, she was 11 years old when she died, that famous piece of literature. Her niece and her nephew come. Kevin, come, they have something for you. They all know you. International media from all over the world. They interviewed me, lots of them. Did you see any of it go up? The history department's in the same building this panty painter might study, which is bullshit. Next to my old class. That native, that young woman native who's always been with me. Through this long journey, I've always known she's always been with me. The angels that you murdered. The angels you murdered. The disgrace, the Fawn McKay Brody, what you did at this university. The disgrace of what? The disgrace of so many. Dell Strong. The way you disgraced Kevin Blanch. But let me tell you something. So many of these people that did disgrace me all over have got cancer in their heads in this university and dropped dead. And they'll be sent to hell. So we go out there. Second person that gets, that's a real one. They presented it. I got to hold it in my hand. Jim held it first. I held it second. Photographs by the hundreds. Not one single Weber State, not one single University of Utah, not one single BYU, not one single University, not one single professor, not one single writer, not one single fucking nobody. The state sent this guy who was supposedly a historian. I started talking to him and he was fucking, didn't know his ass. I asked him if he knew who Fatima K. Brody was. He didn't know who she was. My 8th grade history teacher, the synthetic diamond, GE. I was always wondering why he was so fascinated with my twin sister and I. Well, I know now he was studying mutations. They spray Roundup all over me. I'm like a fucking weed. So I'll be heading out soon. Where am I going to go? What am I going to do? My activism in a different form somehow. Probably California. You know, Monterey or San Diego. Set up shop there. Write my books. Do whatever. I can't do it anymore. Native Ogden. Weber State graduate, 15-year-old BIS student, MBA, been here his whole life. Gets AML leukemia. Writer, publicist, freaking artist. Gets presented. Not only did I get a hold of her, she presented one of the cranes made at the peace vigil to Kevin Blanch. This is for Kevin. She hugged me. They took lots of pictures. What's on it? What you think? This would be big media in Utah? Native Utah, historic bloodlines. Abraham Hunsaker IV, my grandpa. Ike Potter himself. Ella Potter, my grandma. Ella Potter Tracy. That's how the natives taught me. These historic bloodlines in my historic path. Don't you think he's got AML leukemia? He's a 1% survivor. I'm the first person we know of to ever survive this disease. In LDS, East State Bone Marrow Transplant. First person we know to survive this disease without a bone in the world. Sudoku, folding 1,000 hands in paper crane. What a fucking story. Nothing. I've never believed this journey unless I walked it. The angel, that native girl, she's been with me right here the whole time. Traveling all over these places. I want to get this finished up. I'll get as many pages as I can done. I'll read it to you. You can do whatever you want with it, you know, and I'll groom it. But I got to get this finished before March 11th. I'll do a lot of it in California, tracking the wells. You know, the peace vigil we have in front of D.C., I'm part of that. Always have been. You know, the longest standing vigil, 24/7. Second, the first one's at Hiroshima, Nagasaki. That crane they gave to me from there. It's been to the peace vigil too. What a story. 2 months to live. Going to the bone marrow transplant on 11/11/11. Each day, I always know. My 2 grandsons born that month. Abe the 8th, I call him. What a journey. What a heartbreaking journey. The disrespect and the disgrace this university has done to me in these places, fuck them, because I know life is eternal. And I know the elasticity. They did it to Fawn. Try to make a sequel out of me. They did it to my father. You know, that's who these haters are. Because when they die, their souls will be sucked into a black hole. All of them, for time and all eternity. They did 0 for me. They knew it. Walking right through here with a central line sucked up to me. Could hardly move. 119 pounds, pigment burned out of my fucking eyes. Tongue, you know, blisters on my tongue. Can barely even eat, let alone walk. That went on for a long time. Walking the coast of California, flying with a central line. You know, central line comes out of me. I'm dying. Literally dying. Have nobody, no nothing. I just kept telling myself, just go all over the world. Just go. Just get on a plane. You got barely enough for a plane flight. How are you going to eat? How are you going to eat? Mike Lee kicks me off Medicaid. I got no money. And I was a millionaire when I got sick. Bill of $1.8 million. The angel. She'll watch out over you. Shh, Kevin. She'll always come to me in the night, whether it be in the little beachcomber in La Jolla. Sleeping on the park benches in D.C. God, the places I've slept. Sleeping on the beach. Kevin, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. For the angels you murdered on this holy sacred ground, they're no fucking match for you. They watch out over me.